I had never been one for parties, especially not company parties. But when my wife insisted that I come to her annual office gathering, I agreed. For years, I had trusted her implicitly, or at least, I had thought I did. I wanted to support her, to smile, to mingle, to play the role of the devoted husband. From the moment we arrived, something felt off. Her coworkers were lively, the drinks flowed, and she moved through the room effortlessly, charming, laughing, leaning in closer to some of the men than I would have liked. I brushed it off as workplace banter until he appeared, her coworker, tall, confident, with a grin that suggested he thought he owned the world, or at least her attention. From the moment he noticed me, he began testing boundaries, making pointed comments, half-jokes about my career, my hobbies, even my height. I laughed politely at first, trying to diffuse the tension. Then he crossed the line. "You sure you're supposed to be here?" he sneered, loud enough for others nearby to hear. "I mean, it's her world, right? You just tag along?" Something inside me snapped. Not out of pride, not out of ego, but because I could feel the disrespect, the deliberate provocation, the audacity of a man who assumed I would tolerate it. I leaned in, calm but deliberate. "You have no idea who you're talking to," I said quietly. My tone wasn't angry. It was measured, steady, but heavy with meaning. He smirked, thinking he had the upper hand, thinking this was a joke. But he had no clue. The night went on, and he continued his subtle jabs, trying to embarrass me, trying to assert dominance, assuming I would be intimidated, assuming my wife's attention validated his behavior. But I stayed composed. I didn't argue. I didn't shout. I simply watched, learned, and waited. Later, as the crowd thinned, I followed him to the balcony under the pretense of getting some fresh air. He didn't realize that I had been watching, analyzing, and preparing. "You keep making jokes at my expense," I said quietly, assuming I won't respond. "But let me be clear, you don't know me, and you don't know what I'm capable of." His smirk faltered. For the first time, I saw hesitation. What do you mean?" he asked, trying to regain control. "I mean," I replied, "that there are lines you don't cross. There's respect you don't dismiss. And there are consequences you don't anticipate when you provoke the wrong person." I didn't need to raise my voice. I didn't need to shout. The weight of my calm, the certainty in my presence, and the unspoken warning were enough. He understood, finally, that I wasn't someone to be trifled with. When I returned to the party, I kept my composure. I smiled politely, talked to other guests, and let the night continue as if nothing had happened. But I could see the subtle shift. His respect replaced fear, his arrogance replaced caution. After the party, I spoke to my wife privately. I didn't accuse her of anything. I didn't confront her. I simply explained what had happened calmly and rationally so she could see the situation from my perspective. Her eyes widened, not from shock at my reaction, but at the control and composure I had maintained throughout. That night, I learned something important. Provocation often comes from ignorance. People assume they know you, assume they can manipulate you, assume they can intimidate you. And sometimes it takes only a calm, measured response to remind them that they are dealing with someone far more capable, far more controlled, and far more aware than they could ever imagine. In the end, he never crossed the line again. I never needed to escalate, never needed to fight. The power wasn't in aggression, it was in composure, intelligence, and the quiet confidence of someone who refuses to be underestimated. Sometimes revenge isn't loud, dramatic, or public. Sometimes it's quiet, calculated, and leaves a lasting impression without a single raised voice. And as for my wife, she never questioned my presence at another company event again. She never doubted my confidence, my judgment, or my capacity to handle betrayal, even subtle hidden forms like that night. That night at her company party wasn't just about her coworker. It was about respect, boundaries, and showing that betrayal, mockery, or provocation doesn't go unanswered, even if the response is silent, measured, and far more effective than anyone could expect.